This tweet is popular, and it's wrong, and he's wrong for many of the reasons you don't expect. Let's just get this out of the way. You should still learn to code, and you should use AI to code as well. You can do both, and you should do both. AI coding is still coding. To be honest, is it really different? If you vibe code it is, which is where you like type in a prompt and then go to sleep and let it do it itself while spending thousands of pounds on tokens, that's stupid. And the analogy I like is don't use a compiler to turn C into assembly. You should just write the assembly, right? No, AI is just a new compiler, if you like, words to code, and it works very well. So the barrier of entry is now so low, but that's a good thing. It means it's easier to learn to code. You should not stop writing code just because punch cards were created. You shouldn't go back to punch cards, should you? No, this is a whole new paradigm, and you need to use it. But you also need to learn to code as well, because programming is more than just typing keystrokes. It's a logic game. It's like playing Factorio. You need to know how to connect A to B. How do you move the data? That's still up to you, and you need to learn how to code. Do not, under any circumstances, bury your head in the sand and not use these tools to code. It is here to stay, and it 100x's your productivity. If you're not using it, you're going to fall behind, and I will take over your job, or someone who knows how to do both will take over your job. So please, do not bury your head in the sand. You can even use AI to teach you how to code from first principles. It's very good at that. AI massively speeds up the learning process, and you should not be ignoring it. I know you think it's cringe because it lowers the barrier to entry so much that it's almost unbelievable. But you need to do it. Please. For the future you's sake, do it. One of the best things about AI coding is how well it understands libraries and frameworks. If you programmed in the before times, let's say, you learned a language. All languages are pretty much the same anyway. That's the real red pill here, is that there's no real difference when you're actually writing a language. If you've learned like 3 or 4, you've basically learned them all, functional programming languages aside. Once you learn how to structure data and effectively access it, like algorithms and data structures, you know, the book with the mobile on it, then what you spend most of your time doing, at least I did, was having documentation open on a second monitor and analyzing that and writing code around that documentation, because the natural programming just sort of flows out of you, and you're limited by Vim keystroke. Now, you don't need to do that. You don't need to have the documentation open because AI knows the documentation. Sure, you might have to cross-reference it sometimes, but it's there very quickly for you. Use AI to code, but also learn to code. It's not a paradox, and they're not mutually exclusive. You can do both, and you should. Anyway, now I'm going to perform an ad hominem attack on Amyad Mossad. So first, let's get this out of the way. Physiognomy is real. I mean, just look at his face. Do you trust that face? No. Everything about it is creepy, and I don't need to explain why because I can't. Maybe some look-smaxing person can, but I can't describe why. It just gives off bad vibes, and I trust those vibes. My gut instinct has evolved throughout the millennia, and evolution tells me to stay away from him or to prepare for combat. Also, let's just instantly dismiss this whole video. Bro runs a code generation platform, so invalid. I actually think this goes a bit deeper. I think he's trying to undermine culture as a whole. He wants you to own nothing. He wants you to use the code generation platform. Just pay for it, bro. Just slurp up the slop and enjoy it. Pay for my tokens. Never learn anything because AI will take over the whole world. And you should never learn anything because there's no point learning anything. He wants you to live in the pod and pay for his tokens and use his platform. He's also like a thought leader on Twitter. He has like a few 100,000 followers, I think. And like, don't listen to a word these types of people say. You can spot them like that, really. They're all like mini Lex Friedmans. Very bad. Charlatans to the highest degree. Real bad. Learn to code and make cool stuff. Sorry, I just did this for a video, and AI is telling me to go to this software, which is owned by the very man we're talking about. How deep does the rabbit hole go?